Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week of the Sling'n Proffet podcast. Don't adjust your sets just because I adjusted mine. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the new Sling'n Proffet set. As always, I'm the host, Sling, joined by my co-host, Mr. Prophet himself. Prophet, what's going on, man? How has your week been?
Week's been good, man. It's actually been great. We had to take a little tired tonight, long day. Had to take Mrs. Prophet for treatment today, and also scan results. And last time she got scans, there was a couple of spots on her lungs, but today everything came back clear, which is a beautiful thing.
Always a great thing when the scans come back clear for Mrs. Prophet. What else you got going on, man? Anything? Did you catch any wrath from some of your draft picks last week or what?
No, not at all. Actually, well, I got a little story to tell you. It's kind of cute, patting myself on the back. I'm in the hospital pharmacy today, picking up her scripts while she was up getting her treatment, and I picked up the tab on this guy's prescriptions. The guy was in front of me, and he showed his phone, tried to pay off his phone. It didn't work, so he asked his wife to run out to his car to get his wallet. And I tried to stop her, but it was too late. But I picked up the tab for his prescriptions, and I mean, it was a nice thing to do, but the guy was in a hospital gown, and I just couldn't see sitting in line for another 15 minutes, staring at this hairy back and hairy, so I had to do it. But
that's fine.
But no,
hey, always a good soul from you, Prophet. And for some reason, I feel like that's probably a true story there. You're always looking out for people and looking to help people. So, hey, man, I'll tell you what, it's been a busy week in the sports world. We got a lot to talk about. Obviously, tonight we're going to be covering picks 17 through 32 here in our mock draft. Look at you tearing up already, man. You're a big old sap, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a big sap.
Hey, we could be doing
bear.
We could be doing this podcast for 3 years, and you're still going to tear up, man. You're still get stage fright or whatever it is. So, well, Greg Menastra, check. What's up, Greg? What are you saying whoa about? Greg must be saying whoa to the new set. That's what it is. I mean, I know a lot of people are excited about the new set, but what do you
Greg might be saying whoa to that hairy.
The hairy backside.
Yeah, the hairy back. Yeah.
Greg said he only cares about who the Cowboys are taking. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of people tuning in tonight to see where the old Slinger and the old Prophet are going to project their teams to be taken. We're talking about pretty much all but 2 out of the 4 NFC East teams. So he said he is laughing at the hairy back part. So we got a lot of big late first round picks to talk about. But before we get into that, we got to talk about what's going on in the sports world, and a story that came out today that I was able to get on integrate into the show just before we took the air. Let me get my set here. Let me get my set up first. Sorry. I got to pull up my slides. You know me. I don't like to do anything without the slides. So,
well, you didn't tell me what was going on. This is the only time we talk is on Wednesday night. You didn't tell me what was going on.
Listen, I'm so damn. All right, you know what? Let me take this thing off so that way, we can get our bigger screen here and get our overlay. Nothing's ever smooth and easy when you're a father, I guess, with kids, when you're a husband, when you're whatever you want to be. Nothing ever goes smooth. I knew I had a big weekend coming up. We had Kaylee's another soccer tournament, so I knew I was going to be busy all weekend. So I take Friday. I'm going to take Friday to get off work and get caught up on some things around the house, get some stuff done because I knew I wasn't going to have time over the weekend. And don't you know that hey, Friday rolls around and hey, the kids are going to decide to get a friggin' stomach bug. All right. So we got, um, I'm telling you, I'm laying in bed and I've never been, maybe in college, I might have been thrown up. I'm not sure, but I've never been so close in a long time to being thrown up on as I was in my own bed this weekend. And I'm laying in bed and Maddie, my 3-year-old, I'm taking a nap and I'm just like dozing off when I hear her and she's kind of kneeling next to me and she says, Dad, Dad. And I open my eyes and I say, what's up? And she just starts projectile vomit, like all over my bed, all over my pillows and stuff like that. Thank God she did it away from me. So that was Friday. Saturday, Trip had it. Saturday, Laura had it. Kaylee had it a little bit. I think I'm in the clear. I'm like, dude, how did I dodge this bullet? Sunday night rolls around. I start feeling a little queasy. Monday, I wake up and I get ready to go. I feel so sick. I get ready to go to work on Monday, and I'm like, dude, I can't call out Friday and Monday. I got to go into work, and I go into work and I make it about 10 minutes before I start losing my cookies, and I make a call down to the office. I say, listen, you need somebody. You got to get somebody down here to come cover for me because I got to get out of here. So that was my weekend. So I thought I was going to catch up on some stuff, getting an early jump, and I guess that was God punishing me, saying, "Nah, you don't get to take you don't get to take any days off here, pal. You gotta forge through the fire." And that was my week. So we made it through the soccer tournament. Everybody's healthy now. It was nice. I didn't eat anything for 2 days. I felt cleansed. I felt less bloated.
Right on
And
your
then
feet.
I went and slammed a couple Jersey Mike subs today, and the rest is history. So I'm ready to
Back
do
to
the show.
reality. There you go.
Back to reality. Greg said he just got over the stomach bug. I guess it's going around, man. Tomorrow's take your kid to work day, so I'm taking the girls with me to work.
Cool.
Kaylee and Maddie will come with me to work. They got karate for the little ones, and then they got fishing. So there's a lake right at the school. So the kids they'll all take poles, and I'll bring Maddie's pole with her, and they'll take worms and stuff, and they'll go down to the lake. They can catch sunnies and little bass and stuff like that. So it'll be fun for the kids. I'm looking forward to it, to having the girls with me at work. Um, I don't know. I guess I'm going to be having to fight off the older ones with Kaylee. So I hope
Yeah,
nobody,
yeah,
I hope none of the boys in my class try and say anything stupid, because Papa Daly's a little bit different than Mr. Daly. So I'm going to be, if you say something wrong to Kaylee, you're going to be meeting Papa Dale's versus shop teacher.
Well, I hope you pre-warned them.
They'll know. They'll know. Anyway, let's get into it here, Prophet. Let's start our show. We'll talk about the first thing on our plate that I want to talk about. Like I said, it kind of hit the news late, or late for us because we kind of build the show, a little bit earlier. But Reggie Bush, after a 14-year drought of getting his Heisman Trophy taken from him, is going, or he is getting, or got his Heisman Trophy back. The NCAA cited with the new rules of and of athletes being able to make money off their names and their likeness and their images, that it's only fair that in this new wave of society, in this new world that we're in, that Reggie Bush is allowed to have his Heisman Trophy back. Not for nothing, I think it was a crock of crap that he lost it in the first place. You want to, somebody's got NCAA sanctions. That's one thing. But I don't think he did anything to disparage the game. And he was, one of the most electric players and one of the most fun players to watch, growing up in my timeline, when I was a kid, dude, growing up and watching Reggie Bush, like there was nobody better. So excited to see, the kind of the tide start turning with some of these rules being let up on. Now, will this lead to other things? I'm not sure. People are saying, hey, we're giving Reggie Bush the Heisman back. Maybe we should let Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame now. I mean, but I guess that's too sensitive of a subject for some people to touch on right now. But what do you think about this situation? And is it the right move in your opinion?
I have mixed emotions about it. Okay, personally, I think. I mean, it was the rule back then. Okay, so the fact that he got caught, he was doing nothing different probably than 80% of the bigger names playing college football back then. But he got caught, so they took the trophy from him. I'm glad he got it back, but also, 15 years later, they changed the rules to where you can get money now in college, and well, that wasn't the rule back then. The rule was you couldn't, so they took it. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm glad he's got it. I just don't know that. I don't know. It sounding wishy washy. I guess it sounded
You
like I'm
are
on
sounding
both
wishy-washy
sides.
because you basically what you're
Yeah,
saying is you don't just because the rule changed doesn't think you don't think that he should have gotten it back. I
right.
mean, it's a
Because
catch-22 here with the whole gambling thing when in sports. How many guys are getting suspended now for gambling when sports leagues are sponsored by
they're all right.
sports
They
betting
all
sites?
promote
How
it.
is I mean, where's the like okay, so the machine can profit, but the workers can't.
I mean,
And that's basically what you're saying too, Profit.
and then but it's also a situation where if you wanted to look deep into it, you could have found a whole lot more people that you could have done this to, but they chose not to. Okay, I just remember. I remember when LeBron was, a senior in high school. I mean, he's driving around. Him and his mother didn't have two nickels to rub together, but he's driving around in an Escalade, and his mom's driving around in an Escalade.
I think the difference there is that he knew that he was foregoing college. He wasn't going to college. He was going straight to the NBA. And at the time, that was the rule where you were allowed to do that. Now I believe you have to stay out 1 year for basketball, which is a friggin' joke because it takes away from the pageantry, in my opinion, of college basketball because you go somewhere for a year and then you leave anyway. But Larry chiming in tonight saying, he with the MLB he thinks it's a pride thing now, and they're not going to allow Pete Rose in. I agree with you, Larry. I don't think Pete Rose will ever get in, no matter what laws get changed, what rules get changed in baseball. MLB really dug their heels in on this one, and I do not see that ever changing for Pete Rose, whether you agree with it or not. I don't see that happening for
And I
him.
totally disagree with that. Okay, there was nothing in place at that point that you couldn't bet on baseball. You couldn't bet on your own team, and nothing that
I
ever
mean,
came
technically,
out.
was sport? How was he? He was illegally betting in the first place because
Well,
you know
not
there.
necessarily. If
Well,
I mean,
if you're betting through a bookie, you're not. I mean, we're
if you're
go
betting
back
through
to
a
the
bookie, but if
you
he had
know
somebody out in Vegas, putting his plays in, uh, I mean, it's possible. I don't remember all the details. The major detail I do remember is that he never once, and they never said he did, put a bet on his own team that he was
sure,
coaching or bet against them.
right.
So he was using his knowledge to make money. What's so bad about that?
Now, I don't think that there's any coincidence here, Prophet, that you find it okay with Pete Rose getting into the Hall of Fame being, the betting man, but you're not okay with Reggie Bush making a couple dollars. I think being the prophet that you would be okay with both things happening.
I am okay with Reggie Bush doing it, but the bad thing is that there were rules in place. So everybody was doing it. It doesn't make it right, but there were rules in place that restricted him from making money. That's the only problem I have with it. I may not like rules, but if they're in place, you got to follow them. That's the only thing I'm saying. And I am glad that he got his Heisman back.
Cheap plug for
I mean,
my WrestleMania souvenir cup here, by the way. You guys can see that on camera.
hell, Reggie Bush, you said it. He was one exciting person. He was great to watch in college, and even better to watch in the pros.
Sure. All right.
But
Well, we're moving on here. Just one thing is, as we move on too, I am testing out some new equipment. So drop me a comment here. Let me know how I'm coming across, how my mic's coming across in particular. If we're having any mic issues, can you guys hear me clearly out there? Like I said, this is all a work in progress. This is a new
well,
set,
your
new
mic sounds
equipment.
fine. How you're coming across, that's another story.
All
But
right.
your mic sounds
You know
fine.
what? It's a little. We're not in football season yet. I don't need the friggin' jabs from you, Prophet. But if you want to start jabbing, all right, we'll jab. Because you're sitting here. Never mind. We're moving on. Anyway, little football news coming out yesterday,
Yeah,
right?
very little.
Zach, Larry, it was only a $22 cup, so it wasn't $40. But yeah, Zach Wilson traded to Denver after last week's show. Everything always seems to happen after the show, right, Prophet? Because
Yeah, well, that's
but
you know what, that's good though because we're reminding everybody about this.
well,
People
it's not
people are going to
not
be
only
pissed
reminding
off at
everybody
us.
about this, but this guy was not far removed from being a second overall draft pick, which kind of leads into my point of is anybody ever going to take responsibility and say, for some of these draft picks that go out and like, hey, we really blew that one. Like Zach Wilson should have never been drafted where he was, and nobody's ever come out and been like, yeah, we screwed up, or he didn't turn out to, even the Jets are like, oh, he didn't turn out. Nobody's saying anything. Like he got traded to Denver. Zach Wilson gets traded to Denver. It's Wilson and a 7th-round pick, and they get a 6th-round pick back. So like he's not far. He's 5 years removed, maybe less than from being a second overall pick. It's just, does he go out to Denver and start? Who's the quarterback?
Blake Gilbert or somebody. I
Blaine
don't know.
Gabbert? I don't know. Maybe. I mean,
They
he
don't
goes. I
have.
mean, he can go out and get a shot. I guess he'll go out and compete for a starting job.
Jarrett Stidham, I think, right now is their number one,
Okay,
if I'm not
so he'll go
mistaken.
out and compete for a starting job, and he'll be in. Listen, he went to BYU. He'll be closer to his area. He might be a little bit more comfortable. New York's a tough market, man. New York's a high media market. You always got people in your face. You always got reporters in your face. You're under a high microscope, and he just wasn't ready, and he was kind of thrown into that fire early, and the Jets seem to be all in for this Aaron Rodgers thing, with however long that's going to play out. I would say probably one more year, if the guy can stay healthy. I would like to see Rodgers healthy for one more year and see what they can do in New York. I would like to see that, but what do you make of this trade? And I know you're joking about, people forgetting about it, but like at the end of the day, it's pretty big
sad.
news. It's okay. Go ahead.
It's sad, is what it is. Okay, what the league has become, and if you are drafted, especially if you're a quarterback, if you are drafted in the top 10, you had better be prepared to start and do something for your team. And unfortunately, these kids are not ready. And some of them are, most of them aren't. You blow your call completely by drafting Zach Wilson with the number 2 pick, and you're forced to start him. It doesn't matter how bad he does. So you just set your whole team back 3 years. And that's what happened to the Jets. I mean, the Jets, they could have had a decent team over the last 3-4 years. But they got Zach Wilson. They got to play him or they look bad. And they don't want to look bad. Instead of saying, take responsibility, like you said, I screwed up. We made a bad call here. Let's get rid of the guy.
It just reminds me of back in I think 1993 with the Chicago Cubs when they signed Henry Rowan Gardner to that contract, and they're sitting there, they're pitching Chet Steadman. Nobody pays to see Chet Steadman. They want to see the 12-year-old kid. They want to see Rowan Gardner. Rowan Gardner's putting butts in the seats, and you can't leave him on the bench.
They didn't want a belly itcher, man. They wanted to see a pitcher. Right?
Yeah, they wanted to see the 12-year-old kid. He's the one. I mean, I get it. But you made a comment that said if you're drafted in the top 10 as a quarterback, you better be ready to start. Prophet, You got to be kidding me, because there could potentially be 5 quarterbacks drafted in the top 10 tomorrow night.
Exactly.
And you think that there's 5 quarterbacks in this draft ready to start in the NFL this year?
Hell no. But do I think there's 5 teams that are going to draft them that expect them to be ready? Yes.
It's an absolute travesty what they do to these guys. And you think of it, you compare it to baseball. Compare it to baseball with the minor league system. You draft somebody who's 18, 19, 20 years old, and granted, you're a little bit older than that when you're getting drafted in the NFL, but you draft somebody in the first, second round, you're not seeing them for maybe 2, possibly, on the quick front, 2 years.
Sometimes even 10 years.
Well, 10 years, you can call them a bust, but you're not seeing those guys for 2-3 years because they're developing. They're learning the game. They're in the minor leagues. Now, I get it. There's no minor league to the NFL. Football is a collision sport. It's a dangerous, violent sport. You cannot have a minor league system to the NFL. You can't put your multi-million dollar prospects out there to get hurt just to get reps. Now, where they can get reps is practice time. 7-on-7, Pascal in practice, scout team, learning the system, studying film with the older guys, learning the game. You're doing a disservice. These teams are doing a disservice to these quarterbacks who are getting drafted and forced into the fire because 9 times out of 10, they're not ready. And you come in and you get thrown to the fire and you're over your head and you're sinking from day one. And the amount of people that wind up floating after sinking is slim to none.
Yep.
And these quarterbacks, it's just like you said, it's an over-evaluation of quarterback, and it's not every position, because there are certain positions where you can go in and you can play a little bit quicker because the learning curve's not as vast. All right.
Absolutely.
You go in, you're a top 10 overall pick at linebacker. It doesn't take you that long to read your keys from a linebacker standpoint as it does from a quarterback standpoint. I think that, like you said, it's going to be interesting to see tomorrow night how many quarterbacks go in this first round and how many quarterbacks are starting day one, and then how many quarterbacks are starting by week 5, week 6, because it's going to be way too many.
So years ago, they did it right. Okay. You didn't wait until you had no quarterback to draft a quarterback. Your quarterback started getting a little older. You drafted a quarterback and you brought him in. You let him sit the bench for 2-3 years, learn the game, and then when the starter was done, boom, he's ready to go. A la Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. A la Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. We potentially the top 3 guys tomorrow night are going to be quarterbacks.
Yep.
And all 3 of them are going to expect to be on the field, or going to be expected to be on the field come September 7th or 14th, whenever the hell the season starts. And you know what? Chicago, Washington, and New England, they don't have good teams as it is. So you can't take a guy and put him on a bad team and expect him to work miracles for you.
The only thing it's going to do is kill somebody's confidence, man. Honestly, that's the only thing it's going to do.
And not that I think. I mean, I'm sure it did it to Wilson. I don't think Wilson was ever going to be an NFL quarterback, but I'm sure them throwing him to the Wolves, day one didn't help him either.
Larry takes a little offense to your
sorry, but
very good comment.
And I will say this, and not because it's you, Larry, but of them 3 teams, the Bears do have the most talent, as a team, as a whole team.
We're moving on. We're sticking to football, though. We got some sanctions coming, and it's not going to happen. Unfortunately, as much as my blood would love to see it happen this draft to the Eagles, it's not going. The NFL came out and said that the investigation is not going to be ready in time But there are some sanctions going to be coming down from the league for some tampering allegations made by the Philadelphia Eagles and the Atlanta Falcons, respectively. Philadelphia Eagles allegedly had inappropriate contact before the legal tampering period with Saquon Barkley, and the Atlanta Falcons on record have inappropriate or illegal contact with Kirk Cousins from an athletic trainer and another staff member before the tampering period. Expect some draft picks, expect some draft sanctions to come down. That's probably what they're going to come out of it. Probably nothing major, but I just wanted to touch on it because what do you think of these cheating scumbag Philadelphia Eagles, Prophet? I'm sick of them.
Come on, man. Give him a break. I mean, the guy was talking to his old coach and the GM or something. Yes.
I'm just,
That's not
I'm
that's
tired
not
of
as
I'm tired of the damn Eagles cheating all the time. That's what I'm tired of.
that's not as bad as Atlanta. I mean, Kirk Cousins, I don't know whether he was drunk, stupid, or what,
Well,
but he
you've
comes
seen
out
him
in his
speak.
press conference and he tells everybody that he was talking with players and trainers and everybody. That's why he chose Atlanta. He liked everybody that he spoke with. I mean, come on.
Well, he spoke with them in that short time period where it was legal to talk to them, right?
Oh yeah, but Saquon didn't.
No, the Eagles are just scumbags and just cheat all the time. So
And
we're moving on
guess
it.
what? Everything I'm
I
saying
mean, what is
is
that what kind of sanction is that? Like, what are we talking about here? Maybe a loss of a sixth
everything.
round pick?
Everything I'm saying is that Atlanta's going to lose their number one pick, their first round pick next year.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Saquon, the Eagles are probably going to lose a mid to late round pick because, like I said,
Really?
it wasn't that big a deal.
Wow. Guess what? I'm making jokes about it, but that's serious business, Prophet.
It sure
You
is.
talk about losing a first round pick. Holy smokes. I didn't realize that the sanctions could be that vast.
Oh yeah, who the heck was it? It was like 5 years ago or so. It happened. Um, oh my gosh, I can't remember what team it was, but it happened. They lost a first and a third round pick, and they got fined $2.5 million.
Man, who has
Uh,
$2.5 million?
well, Arthur Blank better have it because he's going to be paying it this year.
I sure as heck don't, even though the set looks like $1 million. I put it together for about 60 and I still
60
owe on
million?
it. No, $60.
Oh,
I just wanted to touch on the cheating Eagles. We're moving on to a different topic before we get into our draft discussion, baby. But who I got. I got to come back to it, Prophet. Scotty Scheffler, my boy. Actually, he's not my boy. He's your boy. I don't mind the guy. There's a couple golfers right there on tour that I don't care for, but Scotty Scheffler does it again. He wins
he's phenomenal.
the RBC Heritage. You said it last week. He's as good as Tiger Woods was in his prime.
Yep.
So not only does he win this tournament, okay, which is a feat in itself, to come back and bounce back from the Masters, the biggest tournament in golf, and winning the Masters, and to come back on a short week and kind of, he didn't lead until Saturday. I don't think he wasn't in the lead. He was hanging around, and then Saturday took the lead, and then never lost it, and then kind of ran away with it.
Blew it away, yeah.
But it's so impressive for him to be putting this string together. By the way, I want to talk about how big of morons PGA Tour looks to have to call a weather suspension with 3 holes left on Sunday on the championship. You guys didn't know it was supposed to rain Sunday night. You couldn't have moved the tee times up by a friggin' hour, you jackass clowns. You had to finish on Monday morning. Luckily, I was up vomiting all morning, so I was home to watch it. But if I wasn't up puking my guts out, I would have missed it. But I was home to see it. But come on, you guys got to just look at the weather, man. But yeah, Scheffler does it again, and we draw the comparisons to Tiger Woods, right? Is he the next Tiger Woods? And he gets that question. They ask him, They ask that question a lot. And I saw this stat, Prophet, and it's pretty remarkable. Scheffler is obviously the number one rated golfer in the world right now.
Right.
And Tiger Woods was the number one golfer in the world for a very long time. But for Scotty Scheffler to catch up to Tiger Woods, and I can't read this, I got to make it bigger. For Scotty Scheffler to catch Tiger Woods for the total weeks spent at the world's number one golfer, he needs to be at the top 10 every single week for the next 12 years and 3 months. Think about it, Prophet. What's 12 years from now? What year are we in? 2024?
36.
2036. So Scotty Scheffler would have to be the number one ranked golfer in the world until where are we at? April, May, June, July, August of 2036 to tie Tiger Woods' record. Where does that, like, what is that? I mean, what does that say about Tiger? Tiger is my all-time favorite. I don't give a crap what he's been through. He's my all-time favorite golfer. I love to watch him. I'm so sad to see that he hasn't been competitive. I just like to, anytime that he's playing, I'm tuned in, man. I don't give a shit if he's dead last or if he's first. I'm locked in. But unfortunately, he's been dead last a lot more recently than he's been first. But
he screwed up his Achilles in that car crash, and
he almost lost his leg.
Yeah, well, I only know that's an important fact from what the hell movie was it with Caddyshack. When Bill Murray wanted to cut the Achilles on Ted Baxter, he'll never hit a ball again. Yeah, so that's a big thing, him hurting his Achilles. That's why he can't play anymore.
Yeah, he did more than hurt his Achilles. He had a friggin' 3-ton SUV roll over on his leg and damn near amputate his leg, and he still came back and is playing competitive golf at a high level.
His last 2 tournaments, he didn't finish, and he finished dead last.
He finished dead last at the Masters, Prophet. You couldn't even friggin' sniff the grass at, well, you probably could sniff some grass, but you couldn't sniff the grass at Augusta. All right? Anyway, no, Scotty Scheffler, you want to be the next Tiger Woods, do it for 12 more years, dude. Until then, keep winning me money. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
That was then, and this is now. Scheffler is the bomb right now. Tiger was the bomb. There's no denying that.
My point is, for Scheffler to match what Woods did, he has to do it for 12 more years.
Nah, I mean,
Tiger Woods was the number one
ranking. That's a ranking, okay?
Yeah, and Tiger Woods was ranked number 1 for that long.
Let's see how
straight. I mean, it's if I'm not mistaken.
Wins. It's about tournament wins. Let's
I forget what I don't know. I don't know the record for the master or the majors or whatever, but I would like to see somebody push who, Arnold Palmer or Nicklaus's record. Which one is it? Nicklaus. I would like to see somebody push that, but I thought it was going to be Tiger, but unfortunately, I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
A little bit lighter news before we head into the draft. Did you hear about the controversy here in Montana, Prophet?
Yeah, I heard something about some jackass college kids are suing the state because they're saying it's unconstitutional for fracking in their state. I don't know. I can't.
What the hell are you talking about fracking? I'm talking about the controversy with the minor league baseball team, not some fracking controversy. I guess you didn't hear about it.
No, I didn't hear about that. Tell me.
Prophet, the Glacier Range Riders. You don't know the Glacier Range Riders?
No.
Oh my God.
You
gotta be kidding. You gotta be kidding me. I can't believe you never heard of this story or this team. The Glacier Range Riders are an independent baseball team out of the Pioneer League. They play their games in Kalispell, Montana. All right. And you see this cool logo here on the left, Range Riders with a nice little arrowhead, probably an homage to their homeland and Montana being a beautiful, mountainous state with great parks and vegetation and landscapes and views and They just want to have a good time playing some minor league baseball. Probably the only thing that the town gets excited about, that and the rodeo that comes around twice a month. But no, the National Park Service wants to stick their nasty heads in there and say, hey, you stole our logo and you're not allowed to do it. So the National Park Service is filing a lawsuit against the Glacier Range Riders, a freaking independent league minor league baseball team that doesn't have two pennies to scratch together. They're selling hot dog and ticket packages 4 for $40. You get 4 tickets, 4 dogs, 4 sodas, and 4 popcorns for $40. You think they're making any money profit?
Not at all.
They're not making a damn profit, that's for sure. And you got the National Park Service crawling up their ass about their logo. Give me a break. Step off and let the boys play ball.
That's ridiculous. I mean, my gosh, if it was somebody in, say New Jersey that stole the logo, that's one. And it's not even the same logo. My gosh, you can see it's different arrowheads, and it looks more like a police shield than it does the park ranger.
There's a lot more ridges in the sides on the Range Riders.
Yeah, look at the way that's curved at the top, and there's no.
How many Let's get serious. How many arrowhead logos are there out there in the society? Okay, and the National Park Service is gonna crawl up the rear of these minor league baseball boys who are just out there trying to play ball, make a buck. Maybe make their boyhood dreams come true. Listen, park ranger, just because you're unhappy with your job doesn't mean you got to come after the guys playing minor league baseball. Back off there, Bert.
Yeah, I mean, don't they have anything better to do with their time? Come on, give the guys a break.
Well, shout out to the Glacier Range Riders. Hopefully,
absolutely,
better news comes to this. I'm gonna. You know what? I'm going to start a petition.
We should get an online petition to go against these park rangers. Yay, boo-boo.
Bastards. Anyway, that got me all fired up.
Yeah, it should have.
Let's talk draft.
And you know what? It got me all fired up when them damn kids sued Montana for fracking rights, too,
Yeah.
So
that's a whole other story. Hey, we don't have enough time to talk about that one. We don't have enough time to talk about that. That's a whole other story. These kids these days, frackers. Anyway, let's talk about the draft a little bit. We've had some, obviously we know that we're doing this mock draft, Prophet, and it's not all going to come to fruition. In fact, a lot of it probably won't. Okay. There's been a lot of movement already. We got Zach Wilson traded to the Broncos. Does that play into now, what the Broncos are going to do in the first round?
I can't imagine it does. I had J.J. McCarthy going to the Broncos. I can't, for the life of me, believe that they are going to feel comfortable going into the season with Jason Stidham or Jarrett Stidham and Zach Wilson.
Now we're talking about. We got there's high rumors that the Giants are talking about Michael Penix, which is way higher than I would have anticipated him. It's just this is going to be. It goes in waves. The run on quarterbacks here every year, right, Prophet? And I think this is going to be one of those years where quarterbacks are just going. They'll just go, and they're not going to stop. Whether it's right or wrong or indifferent, it's going to be a run on quarterbacks, and I think I think we're going to see it tomorrow night. So, and I can't believe it's actually 24 hours away. So this time tomorrow night we'll be tuning in.
I'm hearing that a lot of teams are talking in New England, to try and get up in that 3 hole, to take who's May.
Drake May. Drake May's another one, man. Drake May's another one that's going off really. He's picking up steam heading into the draft here. I don't see it. I don't see it for Drake May. By the way, we got the Jaguars on the clock right now, so the Jaguars are back in the war room making their picks. I don't see Drake May, being the guy. I just don't see the production that he had at UNC. It's too small of a sample space to me. That's my thing with a lot of these quarterbacks. Like, where is the sample size? And you can't. I don't know, man. You can't do it for a year. and expect it to translate into the NFL. Like, I'm just, call me crazy.
Well, you know what? I kind of think you can do it for a year to a certain degree, depending upon how you do it. I mean, Daniels only did it for a year. He's only a 1 year quarterback, one good year quarterback in his last year. He wins the Heisman, and he's going to be the second pick in the draft. But you can watch him. The potential.
Picks in, Prophet.
Pick is in.
Let's move on.
I know who I got.
Pick number 17, Jacksonville Jaguars, Dougie P. Trevor Lawrence. Who's going to do it for him? With the number 17 overall pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars select, as Sling says, Kenyon Mitchell, cornerback from Toledo. And Prophet, kind of on the same wavelength here. You got the Jaguars taking Nate Wiggins, corner from Clemson. Let's talk about this a little bit here, Prophet. Listen, Kenyon Mitchell might be the best player to ever get drafted out of the MAC conference. Arguably, I can't remember many first-round picks coming out of the MAC. Other than that one quarterback, he used to be pretty good. I can't remember his name. Ben something. Yeah. So Kenyon Mitchell, big corner coming out of Toledo, ran a 4.33 at his combine. Impressive speed, impressive cover ability. Hey, the Jaguars are a team on the mend right now. They're a team that's a couple pieces away from making some real noise here. Talk to me a couple seconds about your pick here, Nate Wiggins from Clemson.
Well, I got I went cornerback like you did, and I'm looking in Nate Wiggins 6'1", Mitchell 6'0". Wiggins 4.28 40, Mitchell 4.33 40. Nate Wiggins played for big time Clemson. Mitchell played for the Toledo Rockets. That's the big difference there. And not saying that you can't be good playing in the MAC. You can. There's a lot of good players. But when you have two players that are pretty damn similar in ability, I'm going against the guy that's played big time. I'm going with the guy that's played big time football over the guy that hasn't.
It makes sense. It does make a lot of sense. And that being said, we'll just have to see who the Cincinnati Bengals are going to select here with their pick. Oh, how about it? They are on the clock and their pick is in. So let's go to the Cincinnati Bengals with the number 18 overall pick of the 2024 NFL Draft. The Cincinnati Bengals select, according to Proffet. Oh, how about it? That cornerback from Toledo that you were just talking about that hasn't proved himself. Kenyon Mitchell, cornerback from Toledo, and Sling has got the Bengals taking big defensive well, he's not that big. He's large, but he's not that tall. Byron Murphy, defensive tackle from Texas. How about you start us off on this one, Prophet?
Yeah, well, I just gave a few good words on Mitchell.
Sure.
Comparing him to Wiggins, I like Wiggins better than Mitchell. That's why I went Wiggins with Jacksonville. This seems like a good fit, though, man. Ohio boy going to the Ohio team.
Sure. And not for nothing, I talked on record last year about who's got the top offense in the league, and the Bengals stood out to me. With Joey B being as hot as he was, and Chase and Mixon and all those guys, and they need help on defense, and I think they got a guy up front and Murphy that could help them right away and go in there and be a run stopper. So something that they need, to be able to stop the run a little bit better, and get some pass rush. Murphy's a little bit undersized, but he's a bull. He's quick off the line, and he's got a lot to offer up front. So be interesting to see, which direction the Bengals choose to go. Like I said, I don't think that they need too much help on the offensive side. So
they just offensively, I think they're just looking at needing some running back help because
they lost Mixon, right?
Yeah, Zach Moss just he doesn't do it for me. I mean, but okay.
LA Rams coming in next, and their pick is in. Now, what would you think LA would need going into this
Well,
draft?
first and foremost, they need to replace Aaron Donald.
100%. That's the biggest key. That's the biggest thing. How do you replace an Aaron Donald? It's almost as tough as replacing a Gary Bertier from the TC Williams Titans. You just can't do it.
You can't do it.
You cannot do it. It's tough to replace a Gary Bertier. I'm sorry. It's tough to replace an Aaron Donald. Class act, 100. I don't know if he's a class act, but he's a hell of a ball player. Hung up the cleats, and it's a huge void to fill. So let's see which route you got them going. How about it? We got the same position with the 19th overall pick. The LA Rams select, according to Sling, Dallas Turner, edge rusher from Alabama, and according to Proffet, what was that comment?
No, Dallas Turner isn't available in my draft. He went in week 1.
Got you. And according to Proffet, we got the same position here. Latu Latu, prominent edge rusher from UCLA, getting a lot of praise from this guy coming into the draft here. Proffet, what do you like about him?
Well, I mean, he's big. He's big and he's quick. Yeah, he's 6'4", 260 or so, and he runs like a 4.3, 4.4, I think. Mm-hmm. Coming off the edge. That's not helping them inside. Replace Donald, and we both said they need to replace Donald, and we both went on the edge here. But you have to sometimes go with the best player.
You got to take best available. You don't have to, because that doesn't always happen like that. You don't always take best available. I mean, look at how the Eagles draft. I mean, let's just talk about that for a second. But
if you're in the market for a D lineman, okay, well, technically an edge rusher is a D lineman.
I mean, yeah, sure, but
he's not an interior lineman.
Not an interior D lineman, sure, but
right.
We both had the same idea. Like I said, you kind of go with best available in that situation, and if Dallas Turner's there for them at 19. You had him going, like I said, week 1 in the top 16. I didn't have him going in the top 16, so I got the Rams swooping them up here. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers on the clock with a big pick. They get a new quarterback under center here. They got they got the running back set up. They got some receivers in order. They got to do something to protect them. So the pick is in here. And I got the Steelers picking big offensive tackle Graham Barton out of Duke. And you have the Steelers picking Olu Fashanahu, offensive tackle from Penn State. It's weird that you have the Steelers picking him there, because you had him picked in the first week, Proffet, and the Proffet doesn't make mistakes. So please explain yourself.
Okay. Yes, you are correct. So I have these names this year are absolutely killing me. It's every guy, it seems, but I have Fashanu going to the Bears in week 1. But did you ever see the Bob Newhart show?
Okay. I have not, no.
Okay, well, there was this guy on there, and he had a couple of brothers, and this is my brother Daryl and my other brother Daryl. Okay, so Fashanahu is a second. They're one and the same, but they're different. Okay, they're twins with the same names. So this guy's going to Pittsburgh. One's going to Chicago. Okay. Now,
so Fashanahu number 2 is going to Pittsburgh. You got it.
Yeah, I told everybody at the start. It was a long day. I had just gotten home at like 5, and you brought it to my attention. I did not see that, so we didn't have time to push everybody up. So I got a nobody for the Steelers.
It happens sometimes. Those Steelers don't always deserve somebody. So anyway, we got a pick in here for the Miami Dolphins that can go a couple ways with their draft selection here. You talk about high-powered offenses, and look no further than Miami. Do they need help on offense? I would say no, probably not. depending on if you're a Tua believer or not, which not a lot. I mean, there's a lot of Tua believers. I can't say that I'm 100% sold on him yet, but that's a discussion for another time as we get closer to the season, and I think we'll have fun with that one. So the pick is in with number 21 overall pick. The Miami Dolphins select. Hey, look at that. We match. We got the same pick here. Proffet and Sling both select big defensive tackle from University of Illinois, Johnny Newton. And his name actually isn't Johnny. It's like something else, but something. But I can't pronounce it.
Fortunately, we were able to just call him Johnny.
Well, they do call him Johnny Newton, but hey, again, offense is there, Proffet. Defense needs some help. And you think Newton will be able to be the guy to kind of stuff the middle for him, or what? He looks pretty big. I do hear he's got some flexibility issues, maybe not the most fleet of foot, but it looks like a pretty big dude.
Yeah, and you know what? They're looking for a run stopper here, and they're going to get it with this guy. I mean, the guy is a beast on the defensive line. Played big time ball, playing in the Big Ten. Yeah, he's going to help. He's going to help them. Well, wasn't it Cook that ran on the Dolphins last year for 180 or so in that final week? I mean, they got decimated in the run game against the run all year, and this guy's going to be a big help to them for sure.
I agree with you, Proffet. I think he's, he proved himself at Illinois. He played big time football and in the Big Ten there, and like you said, he's just going to add another element to that defensive line, which is ever so crucial down in Miami, to be able to stop the run, because you can't always score 60, 70 points a game. Right. You got to be able to win the close ones here. And they lost a couple close ones due to their lack of run defense, but we got a big one coming up, Proffet. We got the Eagles. We got the Eagles pick, and it's in.
This is big for you, man. You got a big time vendetta up there in New Jersey with these Eagles and the Eagles.
Listen, I would say that the Eagles, I mean, Eagles, they got a large fan base around the country. So a lot of people are tuning into this pick. And I'm not going to lie to you, guys. I make these slides so I know who the picks are. And I'm not happy about the fact that we're both going to agree on this. But with the 22nd overall pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select, according to Sling and according to Proffet, cornerback from the University of Iowa, Cooper DeJean. Let's get the music queued up. Let's talk about this one, Proffet.
It's a great pick for the Eagles. If he's there, which it could be difficult for him to fall to 22, but this kid's a total package, man. He's a cornerback. He's a phenomenal ball player. Played big time ball. He's going to be able to step in and get on the other side of Slay, and they're going to make a formidable duo at corner there.
Now you got this guy coming in. He's second team in 2022, second team All Big Ten, tied for the FBS lead with 3 interceptions returned for touchdowns. That's a big deal, Proffet. I mean, you're talking about completely changing the landscape of the field, the landscape of a game. When you could score a touchdown on defense, Proffet, that completely switches momentum. All right. Absolutely. I like the kid. Listen, if the Eagles go ahead and take this guy here at 22, like I said, I like the pick. He's a first team All-American in 2023, Big Ten defensive back of the year. And he's a returner too. Proffet. This guy is quick. He's agile. He's mobile. And like you said, being on the other side of Slay, it's no surprise. It's no secret that the Eagles have gone out and spent money this offseason in free agency on offense. It's Band-Aids on a bullet hole, though, if you can't fix that defense. This guy, if they take this guy, I think he comes in and he immediately makes that defense a little bit better. I will give credit where credit's due. If the GMs are listening to the Sling'n Proffet podcast, which, listen, there's a good chance they are.
They are. I'm sure they are.
If they're listening to this podcast and you're putting your money in Cooper DeJean, Listen, he's going to be all over your defenders like mustard on a hot dog. Dijon mustard right on a hot dog. You know what I'm saying? Cooper Dijon, pick number 22, going to the Philadelphia Eagles. That was good. I came up with that on my own.
Yeah. You were quick with it, too. It was the end of this segment.
Picks in for the Miami Dolphins, who got this pick via trade, right? With the Bears?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't look.
I'm sorry, not the Miami Dolphins. Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings. I knew it started with an M, though. With the 23 overall pick of the 2024 draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Nate Wiggins, cornerback out of Clemson.
He ain't there.
According to Sling. According to Proffet, they select Ennis Rakestraw, cornerback from Missouri. Never heard of him. But maybe he's got something to say about the Montana fiasco. Oh, no, that's Missouri. Never mind. Different state.
Yeah, but it began with an M.
I knew it started with an M, though. I'm on a roll, real.
You're on an M roll. M&M.
Anyway, I don't have much to say about the Vikings. We got two cornerbacks. They got to fill a void. Who's the Vikings quarterback again?
The Vikings quarterback is
Sam
Darnold, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh man, don't they have another pick? No, because everybody's talking about the Vikings are going to be trading up anyway.
Yeah,
so
they're going to try and trade up.
Yeah, we'll see if they're even drafting at this position. I think they're trading up and they're going to draft an overvalued quarterback personally, but.
Yeah, I think this year you got four actual positions that are going to get hit heavy, and that's the QB, cornerback, wide receiver, and offensive line.
And can't you say that for every year though, Proffet? I mean, those are the four positions
because every year. Lots of times you got more defense. I guess you know what, that is kind of a silly statement when you think about it, because there ain't that many other positions to cover.
Dude, are you high? Like I don't want to ask. Are you high? Like I probably know the answer, but are you high right now? Like what are we talking about, dude? Anyway, the pick is in, and we're going to take our time with this one.
Where are we at?
We're at number 24. We're going to the Cowboys, and we have people with a vested interest in the Cowboys pick. So let's put our heart and soul into it here. With the number 24 overall pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select, according to Sling, Amarius Mims, offensive tackle from the University of Georgia, and according to Proffet, Talise Fuaga, offensive tackle from Oregon State, who's not there because he got drafted last week, according to Sling. But Proffet, talk to me about the draft mindset of the Cowboys, and talk a little bit about what the Cowboys need to do this year to get back on that horse, man, because I feel like a lot of people are on the hot seat in Dallas.
Well, let's be real, okay? They need a quarterback. They need a running back.
They need a quarterback.
They need a receiver. They need offensive linemen. They need defense. They need help all across the field. And I don't know.
Why do you say they need a quarterback? You don't like Dak?
Well, what has he done for them? I mean, he's a good enough quarterback to, get them 9-10 win seasons, maybe even make the playoffs. But once they get there, they do nothing. Okay.
Proffet, remember last year when you made your statements about the Cowboys and how they were going to go into Buffalo and get spanked?
Yeah.
And then you set the world on fire?
Yeah. And this might be another one of them statements.
I hope so. We need it.
I mean, they have no running backs. They are in dire need of another wide receiver. CeeDee Lamb can't catch 17 passes a game every game and expect to last in this league. Okay, they need help there. People may not want to hear it, but if you look at it, objectively, that's a team in dire need of help on both sides of the ball, all the way across the field.
Man, I'll tell you what, baby, we got some sound clips out of that one, and we're gonna use them because you're saying that the Cowboys have got serious help, that they need serious help this year.
Absolutely. Come on, are you going to be happy? Are you content with Brandon Cooks? A guy who gets 3 balls thrown to him a game, maybe. They do. You know what they don't need? They don't need a tight end. They do have a nice tight end core, and they don't
Everybody
need.
loves a. Damn it, Prophet! You cut me off.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't need. They don't
Everybody.
need an edge rusher either. They got Micah Parsons.
Yeah. Everybody likes a good tight end. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
With the 25th overall pick, the Green Bay Packers select, according to Sling, Tyler Guyton, offensive tackle from the University of Oklahoma, and according to Proffet, Amarius Mims, offensive tackle from Georgia, who was just selected 2 picks earlier.
Yeah.
They got to protect Jordan Love because Jordan Love came out and showed that he's one of the top quarterbacks, I would say top 12 quarterbacks in the NFL. And we'll do a little quarterback rating here as in a couple weeks. I think that'll be a fun little show, Prophet, to rate quarterbacks. We'll do our top 10 quarterbacks in the league. I think that'll be a fun one. I'll go out on a limb and say Jordan Love's up there with, I think fair to say top 12. And that's without looking at the numbers.
Yeah, well, without looking at the numbers, I always have a problem with ranking a quarterback so high that's only done it 1 year. Let me see 2 years, and then we can give them big numbers. But after week 3 or 4 last year, I mean, Jordan Love did show that the guy can play. He's got game for sure.
Larry says Green Bay has been blessed with quarterbacks, and they really have, man.
Think
about it. You think about they went right direct. Yeah, we talked about it earlier. It's called progression.
Yeah.
It's called progression. And what else is it called? It's called something else because progression is not the word I'm 100% looking for. I don't know. You go from
what I said.
Yeah, you go from Favre to Rodgers to Jordan Love. It's learning, man. And damn, what the hell is the word? I can't think of it, but the Packers have done it.
These guys don't want to sit the bench for 3, 4, 5 years. But
no.
Now when you do sit the bench for 3 years and you're that much better and you're getting Super Bowl rings, it's like, well, maybe it was worth sitting the bench.
I'll tell you what, set looks beautiful, but this friggin' bar stool is killing me.
It's probably a little hard on your tight end.
Tight end's not going to be so tight after sitting on this thing for an hour and a half. Good God. Freaking my quads, my hammies are killing me. Anyway, we're moving on to the next pick. Who do we got on the clock here? Oh, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the clock, who had a nice little run with my boy Baker at quarterback this season. Tampa Bay Buccaneers with the number 26 overall pick select edge rusher Latu from UCLA, according to Sling. And according to Proffet, they are going with edge rusher Chop Robinson from Penn State.
Yeah, Latu ain't there anymore. So
yeah, and Chop Robinson's going. I think maybe one or the next pick for me. Yeah, like I said, Buccaneers need help. I don't know. I'm not going to say they couldn't use help on offense too, but defensively they need to secure the run game and somebody that can play, play the run as well as the pass. Because with this league and being so RPO heavy and stuff like that, you got to be somebody you got to have somebody that can play that middle ground too, Prophet. And I think
Latu guys can.
Yeah, I think Latu can do that, and I think Chop Robinson proved that he can do that too, where he can be a cover guy as well. Now, listen, you're not running, you're not running downfield 45 yards with a receiver, but to cover the flats or to cover a intermediate route from a tight end or a post route or deep cutting out pattern or something like that, I think both of these guys can handle that. So, good pick up there. Like I said, I think they're securing the defense. We got the Cardinals on the clock. Let's just go right to it. I got at number 27, I got the Arizona Cardinals selecting Chop Robinson. Same thing. We just talked about him, big, strong guy who could play the run and the pass. and you got them taking cornerback Jaden Hicks out of Washington State. So
yeah, I mean, Arizona, they're going to take care of their major need in the early part of the round with a wide receiver, unless they pull some stupid ass move of trading down and think that they're going to get a good receiver. You're not getting a Malik Neighbors or a Marvin Harrison at 12-14. It's not happening.
no,
So
absolutely not.
stay where you're at. Stay where you're at and help your team. Okay. But their other need, their other need is cornerback. And, I went this direction with Jaden Hicks because he's in my mind the best available at this point.
Sure. And you
So
talk about needing a wide receiver. And we look at the next pick here at the Buffalo Bills with the number 28 overall pick. We got the Buffalo Bills, and we both go receiver here, but they're not the same guy. With number 28 overall, Buffalo Bills. Sling's got the Bills taking Xavier Worthy, wide receiver from the University of Texas. And Proffet has got fallen down because I think I had Brian Thomas going week one.
you did.
Prophet's got the Bills taking Brian Thomas, a wide receiver from LSU. Now, both of us obviously on the same page here with having to replace Stephon Diggs. Can you replace the Stephon Diggs? You talk about not being able to replace an Aaron Donald. Can you replace the Stephon Diggs offensively?
Sure.
I believe you can. Josh Allen is going to need somebody to be able to take the top off of a route, to be able to go downfield and be able to catch a long ball. They got to do a lot of things offensively a little bit better than they have been. Now, Allen has, he started off slow this year. He turned it on at the end. Obviously wound up having a good year, contrary to some of the haters out there, some guys that we're familiar with, Josh Allen haters. And I'm not going to say that I'm a Josh Allen jock rider by any stretch of the imagination, but he needs help. He can't do it himself. And he's not getting any younger, so the rushing yards are going to start dwindling down a little bit. He's still going to be a prominent rusher in the rushing game, but listen, if you want to have longevity in this league at the quarterback position, it's not going to come from running for 1,000 yards every year. So,
exactly.
Talk about your pick. You got anything to add about Brian Thomas or what?
Well, no, I mean, based on the way I drafted here, he fell to 28. Will he actually fall to 28? I don't know. I really don't think he will. But if he's there, that's where he's going, is Buffalo. I'm not a big fan of Worthy though, and
No, you're not, huh?
they talked about Kansas City. There's a lot of talk about Kansas City maybe drafting him, and I just don't see, what does this man bring to the table. He brings speed, but it's not like he's a great pass catcher, route runner. He brings speed, and I just remember the last guy that was touted with his spectacular speed was going to be something great. And do you remember who John Ross plays for?
Oh, you're talking about the receiver from the University of Washington.
And I
I'll tell
believe
you
he's
what.
still on
I'll tell
Cincinnati.
you what. My buddy Mark will be hell bent to tell you that John Ross is a Hall of Fame friggin' player in our Madden franchise, because he would just send him on go routes every friggin' time, and he'd burn the secondary, and he would score 80 touchdowns a season because Mark was a friggin' cheater in Madden.
Well, that's Madden, okay? John Ross, he can't even make the field in Cincinnati. So speed is great, but Ronaldo Nehemiah he was a track sprinter that San Fran, brought into the league. He could run past you, but he couldn't catch the ball when it hit him in the hands.
Wasn't there a dude that the Eagles drafted too, like Jeremy Bloom or something from Colorado?
Yeah,
Track star. Yeah. Worked out real well for you, stupid Eagles fans.
I mean, the Cowboys drafted Bob Hayes. I mean, that actually worked out fairly well for them. It worked out real well. Bob Hayes turned out to be, a pretty good receiver. But most of these guys that are speed burners, that haven't proven That can run route. Well, okay, moving on.
Pick number 29, the Detroit Lions. We're both on the same page here with the number 29 overall pick of the 2024 NFL Draft. The Detroit Lions select, according to Sling, Jaden Hicks, cornerback from Washington State, and according to Prophet, TJ Tampa with one of the coolest names in the draft, cornerback from Iowa State. Do we really think that CJ Gardner is the big loss here in Detroit or CJ, whatever his name is, that went back to the Eagles? Is he who they're trying to replace on the defensive side of the ball, or what?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Gardner was more safety, and
Was he? I'm not sure.
yeah, we're looking to replace him with a corner,
All right.
and Tampa. I mean, there still is a good safety out there that hasn't been taken yet. If they decide to go that route, and let me see where the heck's he at. Tyler Newbin. If they decide to go that route, there's a couple of good safeties, but TJ Tampa, I mean, the guy's big. He's got 4.4 speed. He's 6'1", 190. He's a good pressing quarter. They need help on defense also. So,
Yep.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him going after another edge rusher if there's one out there to pair up.
Hutchinson and another high profile edge, dude. They wouldn't need any corners because their defensive line would be the friggin' the 2024 version of the steel curtain, or steel wool, or whatever they're called. I don't know, what were they called? Wasn't there Bears called something too? Didn't the Bears have a defensive line name? Larry, chime in if I'm wrong here. The Bears had something.
The Steelers were the steel curtain.
Yeah, I know. The Bears had something too. They had like the Super Bowl shuffle or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, with the number 30 overall pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select, according to Sling, Jordan Morgan, offensive line from the University of Arizona. And according to Prophet, we're on different ends of the spectrum here. Ravens are going with Adonai Mitchell, wide receiver from the University of Texas. Prophet, offensive line, it's not a very sexy pick, but, talk a little bit about why you went receiver here. You don't think that, Lamar Jackson's got enough weapons, or what?
No, absolutely not. They lost Beckham to free agency. Well, I don't even think he got picked up. They kind of let him
Monsters
go.
of the Midway, by the way. I knew I wasn't crazy.
And Bateman has shown that he can't play. They got Zay Flowers and their tight end.
And who? Beckham?
No, Beckham isn't on the team anymore. They didn't re-sign him. He's still a free agent. They need, they got the speed with Zay. They need a receiver that can catch the ball now. Somebody that's not. They don't have to worry about doing all vert routes. So I think they go wide receiver here.
It's interesting. I think we've had our discussions, and shout out to Slick Rick, who just had a birth of his child.
I was waiting. I was waiting until the draft was over to mention that.
Sorry, but I talk about Slick Rick because of the Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Slick Rick, if you remember from Backyard Blitz, of course you do. On the birth of his new baby this week, to him and his
Coach Teese.
Him and Coach Teese out there. So congratulations to a healthy child.
Absolutely, congratulations to both of you guys.
We're moving on. We're almost done here. Number 31 overall pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, San Francisco 49ers select Adisa Isaac, edge rusher from Penn State. According to Sling and according to Prophet, it's another snoozer. Troy Fontenot, offensive tackle from the University of Washington. Wah, wah, wah. What do you give to the team that has it all, right? According to some people, this team's and I'm not being facetious. According to a lot of people, this team has it all.
And they do.
Right. So what do you do? Do you just keep stacking it, stacking,
Yeah,
stacking, stacking? You
yeah,
know,
exactly. And they got I don't they didn't replace McGlinchey last year. Okay. And Williams is getting older. This guy fought Nua Hua Hua Wua. I mean, he didn't let anybody near Penix this past season. And if there's a knock on Purdy, it's it. He gets a little flustered when he's rushed. So what do you got to do? You got to keep the rush away from him, and that's what they're going to do here.
got to protect the quarterback. You got to protect the blind side. Got to protect the front side. And according to Proffet, they do it. According to Sling, they got somebody putting pressure on the blind side or the front side with Isaac. So we'll see what happens there. And the
Now,
last,
now let's
duh,
let me just before you go. Okay,
can't do that to
again,
me.
just remember, guys, these are all picks based on no trades.
Correct.
There's a lot of talk coming out of San Fran that they may be looking to get rid of Ayuk, which I, for the life of me, can't understand that. I would never get rid of Ayuk. I mean, but if they do, then they could be looking a different direction.
Sure. But how far up do you move for Ayuk? How far? What do you get for him?
Well, if you're
But
giving up the 31st at Ayuk, you got a proven receiver there who's one of the best in the league in my mind. Yeah.
damn. All right. Well, we'll see. Time will tell in 24 short hours here. But the last pick of the NFL draft, and we both went the same direction. Here goes to the Kansas City Chiefs, pick number 32. According to Sling, the Kansas City Chiefs go Troy Franklin, wide receiver from the University of Oregon, and Proffet's got Ricky Purcell, wide receiver from the University of Florida. And I say it with a question mark. I say it with a question mark because I've never even heard of the guy to be able to pronounce his name correctly. So you could talk to me a little bit about why the Chiefs are taking this guy. Obviously, questions with Rashee Rice. Chiefs are notorious for turning chicken salad or chicken, let me rephrase that. You can get a good look at a T-bone steak by sticking your head up a bull's ass. Would you rather take the butcher's word for it? Wait, it's got to be your bull. Listen. All right. I forget what I was saying, but Ricky Purcell, who knows? Talk to me a little bit about it here, Proffet.
A couple of things with this pick. Okay, he's a bigger receiver. Okay, he's 6'1". He's running. Let me see where he runs a 4.4. He's not blazing speed, but he's a possession receiver. Okay, and he's not afraid to go across the middle. They got Hollywood Brown, who all he runs is go routes, and deep posts. They got Kelsey, who is probably in his final year, and I know Kelsey's a tight end, but he's been their middleman. This kid is going to kind of replace Kelsey from a wide receiver standpoint. Plus, we got the fact that we don't know what the hell is going to happen with Rashee Rice. And, I mean, I don't think that anything's going to happen this year with him. But if he does get suspended by the league or whatever, they got to replace him. And
the Chiefs are notorious for taking, and what I was trying to say earlier was taking chicken crap and making chicken salad at the receiver position.
Right.
Andy Reid's been notorious for that. So, look at no further than what Kadarius Toney, even he had a flash in the pan with the Chiefs this past year. So, it will be interesting to see it. We do both have them going receiver. I think for obvious reasons, not only Rashee Rice, but for other reasons too. But Proffet, hey, it wasn't easy, especially with no trades, but we were able to get through it, man. We got through the draft. We got through our mock draft, and it'll be fun as anything to see tomorrow night to see if any of our picks kind of play out. We know that there's going to be trades happening, and so like I said, it's not going to be exact science, but we'll see where the best of the best wind up, so to speak. But I do think one thing is for certain: quarterbacks they're like I said, just to touch on it one more time, there's going to be just an absolute run on these guys.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I mean, I've got 5 going in the first 13 picks.
That's
And
absolutely crazy to me.
And it could be even less picks than that. Yeah,
depending on trades and stuff like that. Because guess what? Once the third quarterback goes, you can't let the fourth quarterback slip away. So we're going to move up and draft the fourth one. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to say the least. Draft night. I like how they do it now with the Thursday night being round 1. And then they split it up, and they make it kind of an event. I think it's pretty cool just to have one round.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about it is I just don't understand why you need so much time for the first round pick. I would think,
not for nothing. You see a lot of these behind the scenes stuff. Like these guys are working, man, and your first 2 or 3 picks might be in your head, but you get a call at you're the number 1 overall pick, and you get a call with a team that's offering you something. You're gonna have to listen to it, So I get it, but 10 minutes. I like how they brought it down to 10 minutes. It was 15 minutes. That was god awful. Remember that?
Yeah, and it was an all night. Well, it's an all night affair now too, but
at least it's 10. Okay. It's like 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and then like 5, and then like 3. So they did change it up. They sped it up a lot, but
I just need to stay a little low tomorrow night so I can make it through the whole show. That's all.
Yeah. Well, guess what? Hey, that was our 1 round mock draft. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed kind of chiming in and seeing seeing who we had your favorite team picking. Maybe it's who you wanted. Maybe it's not a sexy pick. Maybe it's not who you wanted. Obviously, you can always comment on our stuff, and if you think that they're going a different direction, make sure you comment and let us know what you think. So we're kind of moving on here into our last segment of the night. We're going to wrap this thing up. Let's touch a little bit on last week. Hey, man, I'll tell you what. I know Proffet said last week that he's been on a little bit of a dry spell, but who's hotter than a friggin' pancake in a Texas scorcher heat than Sling right now? Sling's coming in with
hotter than a Georgia asphalt.
Hotter than a Texas
pancake in a Texas sling.
Texas heat.
What the hell are you talking about, Sling?
Pancake in a Texas heat. Who's hotter than a pancake in a Texas heat right now than me when it comes to this betting? Because I'm on fire. If you guys listened to me with the Portland Timbers pick, I didn't realize that it was 420 when they were playing. Timbers, Trees. There was no way they were losing that game. They didn't wind up losing. They wound up tying. So that was a push. No. That's a push.
That's a loss.
No, that is an absolute push. That's according to DraftKings, that's a push. You're not the
loss.
No, you're not the ruler of DraftKings rules, Proffet.
Oh, here we go. Is this the way to boost
I'll show you. I'll show you my ticket. I'll show you my ticket. It's a push.
Soccer has 3 betting options: a win, a loss, and a draw.
You can shut the hell up right now. You shut up right now. Shut up.
Okay, you got to push. Good job.
They played to a 2-2 draw.
I didn't see that.
They played a hell of a game. They definitely hit the over.
Nothing.
Oh, I didn't see that. Jesus
they were
Christ.
up 2-0. The other Columbus scored with in the 77th minute.
No way. Holy crap. And that makes me even more pissed off. I don't need to hear your crap about three ties and a loss. All right. You shut up. All right.
I'm
Scotty Scheffler. I called that one from a mile away. Scotty Scheffler, I won $137. And Siwoo Kim, I didn't see that one very well because that wasn't even close. I lost that one. But hey, you lost your Shane Lowry pick. And you won with the Colorado Avalanche over Edmonton, and you wound up losing your Minnesota Wild pick. So you went 1 for 3. I went 1 for 2 in a push. Good. You got something to say?
I was happy. I was happy going 1 for 3 last week, and I told everybody, and I hope you guys listen to me, not to play because the things just. I go through stretches where things don't line up, and last week, last week was it. Now, on the good side of that, I'm 5-1 so far this week going into tonight. So things seem to be turning around. So
all right, ride the coattails then. So this week, I'll start off for Saturday. I'm staying with the MLS. I kind of liked having something to watch on Saturday night. That there was really nothing on, and I'm like, oh, I got this bet on this soccer game. I should watch it. I didn't wind up watching it, but at least I had something to look forward to Sunday morning to look up. But Saturday night, I got the New England Revolution versus Inter Miami. I got the Revolution winning that one, $50 to win 155. I got a little Thursday afternoon baseball for you tomorrow. I got the Reds money line over the Phillies, 30 to win 69. And I got the over in the draft, over 5.5. And I'm surprised you didn't play any draft props here, Prophet.
I got home from the hospital too late to put them together. I wanted to, and
so I got over 5.5 Big Ten players drafted. I like that.
In the first round?
No. Total? Yeah.
Really?
It better not be the first round.
Well, I mean, we got McCarthy, we got Harrison, we got Owahu from Penn State, we got Chop Robinson from Penn State.
It might be the first round. If that's the case, I don't like it as much. But I got over 5.5 Big Ten players. Listen, if there's over 5.5 Big Ten players drafted total, that block will be green for me next week. You can bet your ass it will be, because that's just how we roll here on the Sling'n Proffet podcast. You got some golf plays here. You got Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantlay to win. What kind of tournament is it this week? It's a doubles tournament?
This is a pairing tournament this week. And you know what? I mean, the way the big guys have been playing this year, which is odd because I said it, weeks ago, that normally in golf, long shots come in, the favorites come in from time to time, but the big names have been playing well this year, so you got to ride what's hot. And I got the top 3 teams, coming in, and one of them is going to win. I'm telling you that nothing is guaranteed in sports betting, but one of them 3 are going to win, and I'm thinking it's the middle one.
And I'll tell you what, if one of them wins, you're still winning money if you play all 3.
And
it's called hedging your bet.
If the middle one comes in and you're winning $800, you're going to cost you $300. You're going to win $500 for the weekend. But guys, if you want to know what I'm doing with the draft, just reach out to me at pigskinprofit@gmail.com. I'll send you my draft picks for tomorrow night. Like I said, I didn't unfortunately have the time to put them together, and I did want to play the draft on the show.
Well, we always appreciate your insight, Prophet, especially when it comes to, making that green, baby. And I'll tell you what, I enjoy you guys joining us the past 2 weeks. It ain't easy. It ain't easy breaking down 32 NFL teams and their draft picks, but we did it. Hey, we hope you had as much fun as we did. Enjoy yourselves tomorrow night. Have fun watching the draft. Have fun watching the draft this weekend. Make some money. All right? And join us right back here next Wednesday night. We'll be back here to talk about it. We love you. Listen, we're doing this for you guys, man. We're putting ourselves out there. We're going all in on this thing. And we appreciate you guys who are here along for the ride with us this week and every week, man. We appreciate you. Thank you, Sling Nation, Profiteers, man. We love you. We'll be back next week.
Thank you all.